able to spot a transplant from literally a mile away. FE, DHI, implanter pens, pre-made incisions, DHT method implanted in the frontal row of the hairline. Like a feeling of success after all these years trying all these useless treatments. How to choose the best clinic for you. Using natural products. I've been there, I've done it. If you want to go a natural route, just shave it all off, move on with life. What is your plan B? What you gonna do? If there's gonna be no growth, your donor gonna be destroyed, or both? What you gonna do?
So basically, he got this hair transplant to stop the receding and make his hair more full and...
No, hair transplant does not stop the further receding. Whether you get a transplant or not, your male pattern baldness will continue. 2, 1. And welcome guys to this live stream. My name is Rolandas, and you know what? I haven't done a live stream for such a long time, and I was thinking it's about time to connect with people that, like myself, who are struggling with obviously with hair loss and hair transplants, and basically, help you guys out, answer your questions, because I'm like, believe it or not, I'm getting so many questions on a daily basis. On the Facebook, on the Instagram, on emails, of course, YouTube comments. So it's just, I'm trying to respond to every single person, but you might realize it's impossible, to answer to every single person, especially, in great detail. That's why I decided to try out a live stream, like I did actually in the past last year, and I think it was pretty successful. So we can try it out again. So what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna have a look at a couple of emails I got from you guys, recent ones. Apologies if you send me back, some emails, but I'm not gonna be able to go through it today. I will try to respond to as many as I can. We're gonna analyze some pictures, respond to your questions, and also I'm gonna answer any questions you got, guys, in the live chat. So if you got any, make sure to drop them in the comments down below and let me know how everything sounds and looks and everything. It's been a while since I've done live stream, and I think I did a great job. By the way, let me know in the comments what you think about this really interesting intro I put together. I just wanted to kind of highlight some of the videos I've done in the past, because a lot of people might miss some of them, and it's just in my channel there is just so much useful information. Basically almost everything you want to know about like a transplants and hair loss you can find. And yeah, so if you find some thumbnails or some pictures that or videos that you think you haven't seen before, go ahead, check out my channel, because these were the actual thumbnails. And let's go to the chat. So the first person, welcome to the live stream, was Sagaray29. Congratulations on your transplant. Your results are great. Thank you very much. Yes, it's been a long journey, but I made it. I had the 2 transplants. For those of you who are new here, I had the 2 transplants with Dr. Bruno Ferreira in Portugal. I had 6,540 grafts, all done into 2 transplants. So both transplants were done over 2 days, and it was done via DHI method, FE, obviously extraction, and all of that stuff. So I was Norwood 5A. I'm using finasteride 1 milligram per day every day for the last 3 years. I've got no side effects. I'm doing really well, and I'm happy that actually it feels like my hair loss actually pretty much stopped since I started using it. So that's great. And I'm also using oral minoxidil tablets, a Lonitem brand, and I'm using currently 2.5 milligram dose per day, every day, and I've been doing it for, I think it's been already 1 year. So it's been one solid 1 year, and I didn't have any, again, side effects that I know of. Maybe very slight hypertrichosis, which is the most common side effect, but it's such a small amount, you actually have to look into it in order to see it. Mainly you can find it in between the eyebrows and the temple peaks. But yeah, nonetheless, I'm doing well, and I'm happy that I'm doing well. And yeah, in case you haven't seen my pictures before and after, make sure to just go on my channel and find out that this is how it looks right now after all the transplants. My second one was more than 1 year actually ago, so it's been that basically whatever you see right now is the full result, and it looks great. It's pretty much like 95% coverage, I would say. There are a few areas on the crown that could have haven't been touched in the transplant, but when I'm wearing headphones, you don't see them. Just a joke, but I possibly can do another transplant in the future, but I'm currently not in a rush. Basically, it doesn't bother me at all, and maybe one day I decide, heck, why not? Maybe I'll do it, maybe I won't, who knows. Anyways, let's go back to let's see what people say in the comments. Did you use the same clinic twice? Yes, indeed, I used the Dr. Bruno Ferreira twice, simply because first transplant was success, great survival rate, great donor management, although my scars are like healing in a hypertrophic way. Nonetheless, donor management was great, everything was great, the hair angles are nice and natural, so I was really happy, hence why I went for a second one, and to finish it off basically. The volume of your hair was much better after your second transplant. Absolutely, simply because there's just much more hair in there, On my first transplant I had 3,659 grafts, and I had, I don't remember now how many hairs I had, something like 9,000 hairs I think, so the hair per graft average ratio was pretty good. But on the second one, we went back and just added some more. So yeah, anyways, more on that, on whole my journey. You can find plenty of videos on my channel documented basically from A to Z, everything you need to know. And moving forward, Rolandas, hello from Tbilisi. Wow, cool place. What do you know about Minoxidil Max? So far, as far as I know, the topical finasteride is not good as it was, and it's not working. I want to try manual topical finasteride. I know a lot of people that actually using topical finasteride from Minoxidil Max, and they're doing great. It just bring back their hair and stopped hair loss like crazy, to be honest. Some people are just great responders. Some people are not as great responders. So if you think you're not responding, first of all, you should think about it that you need to give enough time. So you have to stay on finasteride at least 1 year in order to actually assess something without changing any dosage, any frequency, anything else in your routine, basically. So you need to stay consistent. Consistency basically is key in hair loss and hair transplant. And if you stay for at least 1 year and you feel like your hair loss is progressing, it doesn't like slow down at all, then you can try, and I would actually suggest to go for an oral version, oral finasteride, 1 milligram either every day, or you can decrease the dose using it every second day, for example, if you feel like you have a side effects. I'm personally using 1 milligram every day and I'm doing great. So oral finasteride, I believe it goes systemics, therefore it works much better than like topical, because when applying topical, you might not put enough in certain areas because of the hair, and maybe just not enough amount. Maybe the percentage wise of topical finasteride was not enough. Usually it's supposed to be 0.1% as a standard dose. So yeah. And then next question, Rolandas, more like a Chad Londas after the second hair transplant. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, actually, a lot of people been commenting me. I was recently back in my country in Lithuania, and I've seen people that haven't seen me. That last time they saw me was before any of my transplants. So now they saw me and they're like, "What the hell? Like your whole family is bald and you're like rocking full head of hair." So that was great. Yeah, that was great. And also, was it your opinion about HIMS? They gave hair loss products also. So yeah, all of these companies like Manual, HIMS, Keeps and stuff like that, they're basically a prescription based like services. They're offering generic brands, finasteride, minoxidil, whatever it is. And usually they're great, to be honest. I know a lot of people are using them with no issues at all. And yeah, it seems like it's fine. So I am a big believer of using one medication, one brand, and not changing it. If you start, let's say, with a Manual, just keep using it. Don't switch the brands, because even though it's generic, if you think about it, it should be the same. It's not. You can ask, a lot of people that have been in the industry for a long time, like Joe Tillman, Spencer Coburn, for example. They can tell you, like, generics are not created equal. If we're talking about generics that are like coming from FDA-approved like facilities, they have their active pharmaceutical ingredient can have variation of up to 4%. So it can be plus minus 4% more or less of finasteride or whatever else is they're putting into the tablets. And believe it or not, for some people it might be enough of like a difference, either not to work or to even give side effects, believe it or not. So this is why I personally am using Propecia brand, because this is the original brand, as like a Proscar that came, and basically all the studies over this decades been done on finasteride were done on Propecia brand. And yeah, this is why they just decided to go for whatever was actually proven. But yeah, I know a lot of people are using generic brands and they're doing great. Hair loss stopped, they even regrew a lot. So if you find the brand, it looks like it's working great, like listen, just don't change anything and just keep using the same one. That would be my suggestion. I would like a hair transplant, but have seen some people were unsuccessful. Yes. I think, yes. So, yes, believe it or not, hair transplants can be great, can be really bad. Even in best hands, they can be failures. They can be low growth for whatever reason. It can be some, scalp conditions like the patient doesn't know or doesn't see. And, things happen. Even, and let's be realistic. This is people are actually doing the surgeries, not the robots. So if they are in a bad mood, they had the arguments at home before going to work, they might not be as concentrated into actual work. So maybe they're gonna, like, if they're using, for example, forceps, to take out the extractor or put the grafts into pre-made incisions, they might, for example, squeeze them a little bit too hard, and hence they're just not gonna grow, they're gonna die, because this is like a literally small, tiny organ. So you have to be very careful. So human factor, human error is there, even, in the best places. So before undergoing hair transplant, you have to come with yourself into terms that it might not turn up the way you want it to be. So it doesn't matter how much you're gonna pay and everything, failures can happen. So you have to really think about before undergoing hair transplant, because once you've done it, there's no way back. The donor is limited. You're gonna be having scars. You're not gonna be able to shave your head. So think twice before you do, especially think twice about where you're planning to go, who's gonna be doing your surgery. You have to try to minimize the risk as much as possible. All right, moving on. When did your shedding stop or slow down after your initial transplant? The second time around, I remember it was much easier. So much easier because I didn't see much of an ugly duckling face, simply because I already had some hair from a previous transplant. And also I started oral minoxidil, which I believe personally helped to kick on the anagen phase, the growth phase of the newly transplanted hairs after shedding much sooner. So I think after 3 months I already seen the initial growth. And shedding, I think it started after about 4 weeks. But for every individual gonna be different. So I've seen some people shedding literally as soon as they removing the scabs after the 10 days or 2 weeks. Some people don't shed at all. And those are the lucky ones. They say it's about 5% of people that don't shed at all, and they're just transplant hair keep growing. But I believe it's even less. So yeah, lucky guys. But for most of us, it's gonna be between, I would say week 3, week 4, and week 6, maybe up to 2 months that the shedding can actively, but most of the time it's just going to be really rapid, a lot of the shedding at the same time, and you're going to look like a ugly duck. This is how it works, unfortunately. It's a part of a process, but it's a tough process, but if it's done correctly, it's going to be very well worth it. Right. PK7, hey, what's going on, my friend? Jashiki, oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing the names in such a bad way. Yo, what's going on? I think we have met at Mr. Seti clinic event, but when told 18,000 pounds for 3,000 grafts, I changed my mind. Oh yeah, I've seen Dr. Seti, when was it, in May, I believe? Really cool guy, really great surgeon. I really like his work. And yeah, I've seen... It was a meeting in a hotel, and I've seen a lot of people that came there to see him for a consultation, and the way he was doing consultations was a bit weird. It's like he's coming, sitting with some people, chatting a little bit, and sitting with other people, so it's like a kind of open house kind of style event, which was really unusual, but in a way it's really great. Patients, people could talk to each other, and obviously since I was there, some people recognized me and questions. Rolandas, how are you? How was this? How was that? What do you think about this? So yeah, I spent a good amount of time in there chatting to people, had some fun. And but yeah, Dr. Seti, if he's doing the transplant himself, he's pretty expensive. But on a worldwide scale, for his quality, the price is actually really competitive. If you look at the US prices, you're gonna be paying, if we're talking about pounds, you're going to be paying up to, I believe, something like 10 pounds per graft, FU graft. So if you're looking from this perspective, Dr. Seti at whatever is charging, 5 pounds or €5 per graft, I believe, it's twice cheaper. So it's all about perspective, basically. Did you consider FUT? If so, why did you choose FUE? Yes, I did consider FUT at first, and I actually wanted to go with FUT. However, I couldn't find the right doctor that is doing a great job, has consistent results, and is within my budget range. Yeah, I'm not a multimillionaire. I had a budget as well, and I just couldn't find any doctor that I would be comfortable with doing FUT. And in Europe, I know in US it's a bit different story. FUT is much cheaper, and a lot of doctors are doing. But here in Europe, or where I was mainly doing my research, it's really rare to see a good doctor doing FUT. It's just like the whole Europe seems like just went on with the FUE. Hence why I couldn't find it, and then I decided just to go with FUE. And to be honest, I think I'm happy. If I would be able to do it again, I think I would just do it all over again, whatever I did. Anyways, because at the end, my results were amazing, donor management was great, my donor is really great, and it doesn't look like I would need, it doesn't look like I would be short of donor supply to cover all areas. So I think it worked out like so far, you know. We'll see how it's gonna turn out in the future. You never know. But yeah, and of course I spoke more about how you know, I was doing my research step by step, what kind of doctors I was considering and what kind of budget I had, and how I decided to increase my budget. In the video titled something like how I chose or why did I choose Dr. Ferreira. So check out this video on my channel. It's been done I think either last year or the year ago. It's been a while, but it's really great and educational video where I'm going through all my research, like step by step. Is definitely gonna give you some great ideas of my whole mindset basically towards, you know, research. Right. JR is asking if you had side effects from finasteride and could no longer take it, would you still have a hair transplant only on oral minoxidil? It's a really tough question because it all depends, I would say, on your individual hair loss, how far it progressed, what's your family history. For example, if all people in your family have like Norvo 3 only, and it's very unlikely you're gonna progress any further than that in your lifetime. So that's a great sign. However, if you got people that are Norvo 5, Norvo 6, Norvo 7, there is a chance, even though it doesn't look like right now, there is a chance that you might be getting this kind of Norwood level eventually in your lifetime as well. If you, for example, 30 years old, doesn't mean you kind of avoided. For example, in my case, I was Norwood 5 already at 25 years old, while my father was between Norwood 6 and 7, not full-blown Norwood 7, but something in between, not exactly Norwood 6. So he was already at 25, he was already, you know, the same way. And I haven't started finasteride back then. And then I started finasteride when I think I was 28 or 27, something along those lines. And it doesn't look like it progressed. So I might still go further, but hopefully not with the medication. So we will see. I'm prepared to do whatever it takes to basically stabilize my hair loss. Of course, in a smart way. So yeah, it really depends. Oral minoxidil is a great medication and I'm using it myself. And some doctors actually, I know Dr. Bisanga is like saying the oral minoxidil actually changing kind of the field in a way that it's so great that even some people don't kind of need finasteride because that's how strong oral minoxidil is. My personal opinion, it might look this way at first, in the first year or two, but since it's not tackling DHT, which is underlying cause of male pattern baldness, I'm not buying the fact that it will stay this way like decades to come. It might be, it might not. We don't know. We don't have this much research or data to conclude, you know, to make such conclusions. So I guess we'll see. In relation to early growers like myself, I literally had no shedding at all, and I would say I'm around month 5 growth. The 3. When should I have my end result, do you think, friend? So, PK7. Congrats. I'm jealous, and I'm pretty sure every single person in the chat is jealous. Good for you. It's great to have an early growth. And what means early growth? It means you didn't have the shedding, so you start seeing like hairs from the transplant growing immediately. Hence why you gonna see your like final result much earlier, probably about, I don't know, month 7, month 8. But you have to remember that not all is like whatever, like even if it looks like you didn't have much shedding, if anything, it's very unlikely that all 100% of implanted grafts were just keep growing, didn't shed. Most likely like 5%, 10%, maybe even 20% still shed, and that you didn't simply notice because they were like so small. And so you still can expect more of these hairs to like sprouting through, you know, your skin up to, I believe, month 8. So this is, I would say, the cutoff time when you're probably not gonna see much, if any, new hair sprouting. That being said, whatever sprouted just earlier, they still will be thickening up all the way up to month 12. So basically, realistically speaking, month 12 is always gonna be your like a final result. Whatever is happened already. And further down the line, your hair might just become more like a natural looking, if it makes sense, because some people at first the hair is going like wiry, kind of kinky a little bit. It looks like even thicker, not as soft. So this kind of hair gonna soften up with the months to come, up all the way up to like a second year of your transplant. So yeah, hope that helps. Right. Hi, would you recommend using the power shampoo and the vitamins from manual before finasteride? I would not recommend using it before. But of course you have to like go back to the same. If you've been diagnosed with male pattern baldness, which is the most cause of, hair loss in men, about 95% of them have male pattern baldness. If you've been diagnosed with that, you need to tackle the root cause, which is dihydrotestosterone DHT, through finasteride or dutasteride. You can start topical finasteride, you can do oral finasteride, you can, if you're scared about side effects, you can do small dose, even as low as 0.25 milligram or 0.2 milligram per day of oral finasteride reduces like 50-something% of DHT, while the full dose, 1 milligram per day, is reducing something like 68, 69, up to 70% of DHT. So it still works like between 15 and 20% less, such a small dose. So a lot of people have a really big room, if they have the side effects, to decrease the dose, and still it's going to be really effective for them. So the way I see it, it's better to have any finasteride than no finasteride, because the DHT is still going to be, decreasing your anagen phase and miniaturizing your hair. So if you tackle just a little bit of it, it still can be worthwhile long term. So, but after you start the finasteride, which is your main weapon against male pattern baldness, you can add on top of minoxidil, for example, topical or oral if you decide with your doctor. For example, minoxidil is a great idea to add if you have a lot of miniaturized hair, like a much thinner hair. For example, in your hairline or temples, you see the hair that are really like much thinner than, for example, on your crown or mid-scalp or even in the donor area. This hair can greatly benefit from any sort of minoxidil, any way or any shape or form of minoxidil. And but if you don't have, it's like a slick bald, just but you have like other areas that are really strong, just take finasteride, start with finasteride, and it's best to use one treatment at a time, so you know what works, what doesn't work. All right. And yeah, of course, vitamins, it's all great. Even, hair loss can occur even with like vitamin deficiencies. I'm a personal believer that a lot of people are deficient in vitamin D simply because, of our lifestyles nowadays. We're sitting indoors, so we're not getting enough of, sun. But this kind of hair loss is usually like a telogen effluvium, so it's like after some time it's supposed to grow back, and it's multifactorial. For example, iron also can be, if you're deficient in iron, if deficient in vitamin D, you've got a lot of stress, it all can impact and give you some shedding. But if you got male pattern baldness and you have a shedding for whatever reason, telogen effluvium, so your hair will come back. But because you have male pattern baldness, so it means DHT is actively attacking your hair follicles, you will likely come back a little bit thinner, a little bit weaker. This is why, even though you're like shedding or hair loss caused by some other factors, not DHT, it's still likely gonna come back weaker if you're not on finasteride. This is why it's your main weapon. But I'm personally taking also multivitamins. I'm taking omega-3s, vitamin D3 and stuff like that. So I believe we need a great nutrition for overall health. And shampoo, it's a great shampoo. Shampoos, they really don't do much, if anything, to treat male pattern baldness. Right, so moving on. That was a really broad answer. Did you specifically look for a surgeon who did DHI? No, and I'm going more into it in the video that I mentioned just before. Why did I choose Dr. Ferreira? In short, DHI, FUE, pre-made incision, I guess what you mean, is it doesn't really matter. I can guarantee you, I can bet you, if you put 5 results of pre-made incisions done by the best clinics, best surgeons in the world, next to 5 results of DHI being done with the implanter pens, you will not gonna be able to see the difference between these two. They're both gonna look great and natural and amazing and dense and all of the stuff. So basically, most of the DHI is just a hype, just marketing, just, try not to look into it at all. you know, I'm gonna save so much headache. Where was I? Eduardo Ribeiro. First of all, hey man, nice to see you. I know I've seen you for such a long time on my channel, in my previous live streams. Thanks so much for great and long-term support. It's been almost 1 year since my second hair transplant with first with Dr. Bruno Ferreira. Oh, congrats, you had yeah, with Dr. Bruno. Great. The results have been good, though a but under your expectations. Okay, but he's so good managing donor area that third tweak is possible. Well, great. I'm glad that actually worked out for you. Yes, you need to like understand. Hair transplant is just illusion of density. It doesn't. For example, my transplant now with the harsh lights, it looks dense. But like if you look coming closer, for example, you can kind of see. Has to focus now. You can see a little bit over here, for example. It's like kind of see through this area. Hairline is like a little bit better, but like there is still gonna be areas overall that gonna be like weaker. Simply because, and of course my hair caliber is really thin, 50 microns. So I would personally need many more hairs per square centimeter implanted in order for it to look good. But as a general rule of thumb, every single person, in my opinion, needs 2 transplants. Just the first one is a great, like a baseline. Most of people gonna be happy, but there still can be room for improvement to implant a bit more density. So it's more than likely this is what happened to you. Hey, this happened to me after my first transplant. It was great, the frontal third, but I wanted to have a little bit more density, and now like I'm just over the moon. It looks freaking amazing. Old boy, hair looks great. Thanks so much. Really appreciate that. I just washed my hair, style it really quickly. Looks great, what I think. I like the, you know, like temple peaks and everything. They've been reconstructed very, very slightly, so it framed my face so nicely. I absolutely freaking loving it. What's your everyday shampoo? My UK surgeon advised either baby shampoo or Alpacin, whatever it's called. I'm not using any caffeine shampoo unless you like it. It's BS, it doesn't work as advertised. But to be honest, I'm using whatever I find. I'm trying to find some shampoo specific to like a thin, fine hair. I don't know if it works much, if anything. Some shampoos, when I'm using, I feel like it gives more like a volume kind of. My hair feels a bit lively. Is that what? Lively? Alive? So yeah, I was using actually manual shampoo for, I think the last, probably 4 months or 5 months, even for quite a long time. This one bottle lasted me, my first bottle lasted me, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 months, simply because I'm using Nizoral once a week, every Monday evening. And then I'm trying to like shampoo as little as possible. So I was using manual shampoo, I think, then another like 2, maximum 3 times a week. So, you know, it lasted pretty long. And right now I'm still using it. Plus I've got some other, you know, whatever really. I'm not overthinking too much, and you shouldn't too. And yeah, great questions. But I wanted to address actually one guy that sent me email yesterday, and he gonna be actually just lucky. So good for him that I can answer his email and questions really quickly, because usually, you know, a lot of people emailing me with different questions, with these big paragraphs, and I apologize if I didn't reply to some of you. I'm trying my best, trust me, but I cannot just spend my whole free time doing it, because, you know, I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not doing it for like for a living. I've got a full-time job, so, you know, have to kind of balance personal life, job, you know, going to the gym and, you know, doing YouTube. So I'm trying my best nonetheless. So I wanted to reply to this guy. There he goes. So he asking, hello Rolandas, hope you're doing well. I first want to thank you for the quality content on your YouTube regarding your hair loss journey. It is really refreshing to find someone that doesn't talk crap and is very realistic about the topic. As you can imagine, I am also struggling with hair loss, currently 32 years old, with probably normal 3 to 4. With similar type of hair like you, flat, light, thin. And I'm seriously thinking about hair transplant the following years and about to start the treatment beforehand. Having said that, I really wonder about your opinion regarding the latter. Namely, I know I should start the treatment before the hair transplant, but I'm having second thoughts regarding finasteride minoxidil and their potential impact. Especially bearing in mind that over the course of next years, I'll be probably starting my own family, and the thought that by using such medications I could potentially endanger the process freaks me out. And I have written numerous studies on this subject, as you know, and there are no clear-cut or fully reliable conclusions. On the other hand, if I wait for the several years, I will probably be too late with the treatments as my hair loss will progress. Therefore, I'm really wondering about your genuine opinion of using finasteride and minoxidil in general and the side effects they might cause, especially if one is trying to conceive. In addition, I see recently that you recommended manual and the products for hair loss. I assume that you use the products as well, so I'm wondering what the experience. I recommend taking into account the multiple options, see below, etc. Okay, so he was mainly concerned about, of course, he's being normal 3 and 4 at 32 years old. First of all, well, having hair loss is never good, but it's a great place to be at this age. I'm just comparing to myself, so don't get me wrong. And yes, it's a legitimate worries, to be honest. I had myself, and like you said yourself, according to the research, there is not much data saying that, you know, being on finasteride while trying to conceive will have any like birth defect or any other issues. Having said that, most doctors that I've heard, they actually recommending to stop finasteride for at least 1 month before trying to conceive, and after the business is done, you can start again. And the good thing about it that finasteride actually, it's not just gonna like the way finasteride works. For example, your hair loss is like going like that. And then you start finasteride, your like hair loss kind of slows down, goes to this level. It still can progress, albeit super slowly, that some people don't see any difference in like 20 years, or you can slow down completely. But this is like your level of hair loss is going to be. But after you stop finasteride, after 1 or 2 months, your levels of DHT will slowly go up, and it will start eating your follicles. So your hair loss basically start progressing from the point you left it off. It doesn't mean all your gains going to be lost like that. Although I know a lot of people just have such aggressive hair malformations that they're just losing like this. But again, it depends on the individual. So it's always a good idea to start as soon as you can, because early intervention is key. Minoxidil and finasteride, they're not great at regrowing, but they're great at keeping or preventing further progression of hair loss. So I'm not a doctor, I cannot tell you to do anything, but I would suggest to speak to a doctor, speak to manual clinicians that you mentioned, and see what they're gonna say. Most likely they will say, start right now whenever you're ready to conceive, stop the medication, and you know, finish the job, go back on it. I know a lot of people, not personally, but you know, from online, speaking to many people that were on finasteride 1 milligram a day on a full dose for like many years, and they had their kids absolutely fine, no problem. But I definitely understand why would you want to stop it. And personally, when I will be trying to get my girlfriend to conceive, I'll probably stop it as well. We will see how it's gonna go. Just because, you know, it's better to have like peace of mind, you know. And yeah, so this is my advice. And side effects and everything, in general, side effects are really rare. Depends on what study you're looking at. Something can be 1%, 2%, 5% of people experiencing any sort of side effects. But interesting fact that people forget about is that in these studies, in the clinical trials, that like a double-blind placebo-controlled group studies that are done over, like, say, 1 year or 2 years, there are people that were taking placebo tablets, which is basically just a sugar pill or whatever without nothing. Even these people got the side effects. How, you might ask? Placebo. Our brain is really powerful. If you start thinking about that you're gonna have a side effects, chances are you will get them. It doesn't mean that's the medication, it's just you are psyched yourself in. So the actual side effect profile is really low, and I strongly recommend to actually look at the Hair Cafe YouTube channel. Kevin, man, he is just doing an amazing job on basically debunking all the, you know, myths related specifically to finasteride and all of this, you know, mainstream like medications to treat male pattern baldness. So check it out. Amazing channel, lots of useful research and information. I would never be able to do as great job as he does. Therefore, you know, just go there and watch it. He's passionate about it, and there you go. And what was it? I decided. If I decide to use it, I can use your affiliate link. Yes, so I've been sponsored by Manual in the past, and it's great. I believe it's a great company. This is why I took on board the sponsorship. I actually had so many sponsorship like suggestions, or you know, people wanted to work with me together, but I denied like all of them. And the only sponsorship I took was Manual. So only because I believe I'm using finasteride myself, I'm using minoxidil myself, and they even, I've heard, recently started using offering oral minoxidil. So great company, you know, cannot say any bad things about them. And the prices, especially with the discount codes that you can find in some of my latest videos, if you go through this link, you're gonna find a 50% discount code. Amazing value. If you buy like a 6 month in advance supply, it's just crazy. That being said, I'm not getting any kickbacks from it, so I'm not getting like a affiliate whatever from the sales, but use the link to get your 50% discount, and you know, it's great. Right, so yeah, that's done. Let's go back to the chat. By the way, what do you think so far of the live stream? By the way, I completely forgot. I put in the background some like music, and what do you think about it? Is it okay? Is it too loud? Is it too quiet? I think it's a bit interesting to kind of keep the mood going. And yeah, the hair chemist. Well done, Rolandas. Nearly at 10,000 subscribers. Thank you very much, Killian. Really nice to see you on this live stream. And yes, I'm actually approaching 10,000 subscribers, and I was actually looking forward to this number for a long time. And I'll tell you why. It's not like I care about the number, but YouTube will allow me to create like a stories like we got on Facebook or Instagram. The stories that will disappear after 24 hours, I believe. So when you have 10,000 subscribers. So I will be definitely utilizing this to kind of answer a lot of, you know, common questions that I'm getting on my YouTube channel, or, you know, emails, or you know, Instagram, whatever it is, because it's gonna be really easy. Like wherever I am, I just can pull off, you know, my phone and just, you know, record quickly myself 10-20 seconds answer, and put it on my, you know, on my story on my YouTube, and just you guys can benefit from it. Or if something interesting happening in my life, or I'm seeing some interesting doctor or whatever it is, it's just a great thing. That's like doesn't require much work, if any, just boom boom. It's a really cool feature. So hey, if you're watching this live stream, you haven't subscribed yet, do me a solid, do me a favor, subscribe right now. Let's bring this channel to 10,000 subscribers, and you're gonna help basically a lot of people. Because think about it this way: if you're watching my videos, you're getting a lot of value, and you like the content, we need to make sure to spread the word by subscribing, by commenting, watching like, you know, the video for as long as you possibly can, to increase the watch time. And in this way, YouTube will promote to bigger audience, so we can actually help to more people. So this great content can reach more people, and they can be helped. Because when I was doing my research, I remember there was not enough information, or not like enough good information. So I was really struggling to find something good that are not selling some snake oil. They're not the people that are like you know, not affiliated with certain clinics, that are just all they care is about money, not actually your well-being and stuff like that. Like nothing wrong with making money, but you know, in my opinion, the first thing should be the patient's well-being. Basically, I would never sell out. I would never, whatever, like some clinics, some Turkish clinics been offering me crazy amount of money just to kind of work with them, promote them and stuff. I always denied. Like I'm not here to make money. I'm here to bring education and help as many people as I possibly can. This is what I was doing so far. So if you appreciate that, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and you can also support me in the description down below. There is some links for you to check it out. Right, let's move on. Crown Zach. will you go on 5 milligram olomoxil? By the way, hello, my friend. Crown Zach, my friend, how are you doing? It's been a while since I did a live stream, and I know you've been a big supporter for a long time. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. And 5 milligram olomoxil, maybe. Currently, I'm on 2.5 milligram, and I'm not planning to change it as of right now. Only because, you know, the higher the dose, the more efficacy, but also the more potential side effects. And since olomoxil is not, it shouldn't be taken as lightly as topical, I keep it 5 milligram dose in my back pocket should I need it in the future. If I see more like miniaturization start happening or whatever, or like a more thinner hairs, maybe that's when I will decide. But for now, I'm happy with what I'm getting. And yeah, maybe in the future, who knows? So, right. By the way, what's your... Oh, the comment just went away. There's some really crazy comments. Oh my gosh, I'm so slow. I have to go a bit faster. So many comments. I apologize, guys. I'll try to answer to all of you. Where was I? I have watched your video post over time. Congratulations. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Could you do a 360? Bring it on. I'm not gonna be spinning on my chair, but so I've got no fibers. I've got no hair like concealers, just some hair product to kind of style it. That's it. I literally just wash my hair. So let's see if we're gonna focus. All right. It's my donor after 6,540 grafts. It's pretty short, and the scars you can see on other videos. They are really visible when the hair is short, but when the hair is just a little bit of length, it looks great. So, like I mentioned before, these are the two areas that were not touched with the transplant, that are looking a little bit thinner compared to this thick mop that I have. But it doesn't bother me, to be honest, and I'm absolutely fine with it so far. We'll see what's gonna happen in the future. Let me just move back a little bit. I hope it's focusing. I have no idea what I don't see what I'm doing. But yeah, from the back, donor area. Yeah. Basically, for more videos and close-ups, make sure to check out my progress videos on my channel. I literally documented so extensively. I showed my transplant in various light conditions and angles from left, right, top, outside, inside when it's wet and stuff like that. So you guys can see exactly, because a lot of people, when they're showing the results, they're showing in a really like a dark rooms when you don't see really much. It's just like from like far away. From here, you cannot see nothing. Like how, okay, it looks dense, but it might be just purely triple grafts in the hairline. And from here, it might look okay. But as soon as you're coming a little bit closer, you're gonna be able to see everything. And, you know, some people say, oh, people only notice if they know about the transplant. No. Believe it or not, people who have no idea what's happening in the transplant world, they will still see something is wrong with your hairline. Trust me, I've done my fair share of experiments with friends and co-workers and stuff, showing different videos and pictures, and trust me, people who have no idea about transplants and just show something as like, what do you think? You say, oh, why it looks so weird? What's wrong? I don't know what, but it looks strange, it looks awkward. And then when I start explaining, they're like, oh yes, that makes sense. So there you go. I want hair like yours. If you do it right and you're a good candidate, you can have it too. Just make sure, do your research, don't rush into it, and be like me. Don't be like almost any other YouTuber on this platform, that they're doing their first steps wrong and then they're trying to catch up, and then they start teaching. Like, I've done all the steps, I would believe so, every step's right. I started medications before undergoing hair transplants. That being said, I could have started medications much earlier, but this is my, you know, my bad thing I've done in life. But I've done my research. I went to a good doctor. The transplants were done correctly, donor management, everything. So I've got great results. I still have plenty of reserves should I need for the future. Happy life, job's done. So everyone can do it if you just put some time and effort into it. It's good to start finasteride when you have low serum testosterone but good free testosterone. Some people are telling that it's okay and it's even boost your serum. Some people think opposite. Well, from what I know, the finasteride will boost your free testosterone, just simply because there is less conversion from T to DHT, and it's like it can boost even up to 15%. Whether it's gonna be good or not for you, like nobody knows. It's the actual, looking at the actual numbers will not say much, if anything, to you. You need, because it's all about like the ratio between like estrogen, you know, testosterone, DHT even in the body and stuff like that, and how people basically reacting to these different levels. So you will never know. Whatever people gonna say to you, you will never know until you're gonna try. And the good thing about finasteride, you can try it. If something is wrong, just reduce the dosage. Something is wrong, just stop it. At least you're gonna know you tried, didn't work out. Can they tell if the hair transplant be successful? I mean, I'm analyzing a lot of transplants on my channel and in privately. You can kind of, I could tell the way it's implanted, the hair angles and stuff like that, but I mean, yeah, you can kind of tell, but again, the growth, just have to wait and see. Have you ever heard of Dr. Conyor? What are your thoughts on his result? Dr. Conyor is absolutely one of the best in the world. That being said, he's really expensive, but his job, his FEs is just out of this world. Like the most natural result I've ever seen in my life. So really great doctor. I live in West London. Do you have contact details, please? A lot of people have been asking me to meet me in person. Not a big fan. I cannot say why. It's just, you never know. Even though you sound like a good person, how can I trust you? You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't see people one-on-one privately. But if you got any questions, make sure to drop them in the comments down below and I'll gladly answer whenever I have time. Out of 100%, how happy were you after your first hair transplant? Then, how much more did your second hair transplant boost your happiness with overall outcome? Well, first of all, my first transplant was only like half of my head. So second kind of covered almost everything. So I'm absolutely happy after the second one. After the first one, you know what? Check one of my last videos, actually my last video what that I uploaded on YouTube, which I basically went through my whole journey and explained in a simple way and like my emotions, what I feel at certain point. Great video. You'll find a lot of useful information in it. Hello from Baku. Holy cow, never spoke to anyone from there. What do you think finasteride or minoxidil is better in monotherapy for hair loss? Okay, so if you're asking which one is better as a monotherapy, absolutely finasteride. Finasteride is tackling your root cause of hair loss, and minoxidil is just giving boost to thin miniaturized hair, albeit your hair loss will still be progressing due to DHT if you're not taking finasteride. So always start from finasteride and then after some time see if you need minoxidil. Rolandas have question. I started using minoxidil 2 months ago. My hair was to regrow back. I can see changes. My hair doesn't lose. My question, if I use minoxidil alone with derma roller, minoxidil with derma rolling might be really effective, but like I just mentioned, like the efficacy is not gonna be holding for a long time. Think about it this way. Again, your hair loss is going like this way. The higher it goes, the more hair loss you're gonna have. And if you start minoxidil, like it might look like your hair loss kind of goes down, but it's not. It's just minoxidil stimulating your hair that they start growing, the anagen phase prolongs, so they start growing longer and thicker. But DHT is still attacking, you know, in the root of the like hair follicle, so it still will miniaturize. So it's like you're gonna be having like a losing battle. You're trying to revive your hair with minoxidil, but the DHT will eventually overpower it and your just hair gonna fall off. So, and especially if you've been only on minoxidil for like a long time, you didn't use finasteride. I've seen so many people, they start it and they shed so much hair just because the hair loss keep continuing in the background and can be really, really bad. So better don't do it, start with the proven medications. A Plummen, the quality is great. Thank you very much. Yes, I was trying to figure out the setup I bought even a webcam. It's not even a good camera, but it looks great. It's great with the autofocus. Yeah, there you go. And thing looks really nice. Yeah, it's not great with autofocus. So yeah, thanks for that. I don't want to use finasteride. It's your choice. I'll just tell you this one. If you don't use finasteride and you have male pattern baldness, your hair loss will continue. So essentially it's your choice whether you want your hair loss to continue or not. Sad reality. This is like after freaking almost 30 years, we still have nothing better than that. So I believe, again, just watch Hair Cafe YouTube channel. He is busting a lot of myths about side effects, about finasteride. So there is a lot of misinformation online about it. So don't buy into fear mongering. Educate yourself on the subject. What do you think about ketoconazole shampoo? Is useful for AGA. I'm using every Monday, once a week, ketoconazole just to make sure my scalp is healthy. There is some studies saying it's as good as 2% minoxidil, but again, it's nothing much, to be honest. If you would have like a super mild male pattern baldness, maybe it would do something, but for most people, it's not even worth time in trying. Just get on finasteride and that's it. Hey Rolandas, I'm from India. Nice one. Have a inquisitive query. Hey Pomen, keep it up. Thanks so much for your support. £5. Gonna go buy some beer. Joking. I'm using 1 mg finasteride and 3 mg oral minoxidil daily. I also have access to the dutasteride, but don't currently need it. Good. This is what I'm pretty much doing, and I'm keeping finasteride as well in my back pocket should I need in the future. Do you endorse eugenics? I'm booked for surgery with them. I don't endorse any doctor at all, including Dr. Ferreira. Someone was on Hair Restoration Network forum like a couple of days ago, was trying to convince me that I'm getting paid from Dr. Ferreira for promoting him, doing videos to promote. Like, I'm doing videos not to promote him, I'm doing videos to promote like myself, my transplant, and information, to share this information with as many people as possible. I'm not going go to Dr. Ferreira. I couldn't care less where you're gonna go. As long as you're going to a good doctor, you're not gonna get botched. Job's done. It doesn't matter, there's plenty of doctors. So yeah, I don't endorse anyone, but eugenics, especially when Dr. Sethi or Dr. Erika Bansal are doing themselves the surgery, I believe is just their knowledge, their expertise, their like results, it's incredible. But I cannot say or vouch about their technician teams because I don't know about them anything. I don't know how they're doing, so I cannot say whether it's good or not. But when the doctors are doing themselves, it's just definitely is great. So that's all I'm gonna say. Does oral finasteride really work? Yes, it does. After 5 months on finasteride, I've gone slick bolt on my crown, extremely thin all over. I'm hoping it's shed and I'm not unlucky one it doesn't work for. Yes, 5 months, it's really likely you're just experiencing shedding. Shedding that will come back. And actually most of the times, if you got shedding from after starting some medications, usually it's a good sign. And I only need 2,000 minor. Are you taking finasteride? Drago, YouTube, yes, I do take finasteride 1 mg per day, every day for the last 3 years. I'm doing great. My hair loss stopped. Fantastic drug. I don't know what I would be without it. Cannot even think about it. It will repose it after the shedding. Okay. Hello, bro. Hey, DRE. Dre. Alright. Oh, actually, you know what, guys? I wanted to show you. I've seen a video that Dr. Bizanga posted on his YouTube today. Such an amazing, one of the results, a lot of people will think it looks great, it looks amazing, especially if it's not shown properly, the way I'm showing my results. But when you're actually looking closer into it, it's actually really bad, performed transplant. Let me find this video, I'll show you guys. It's very short, like a few seconds, like 30 seconds or so. Really great. And where was it? Uh-huh. Let me just mute the music. And there you go. This is the video.
22 years old, had the surgery again in Turkey. You can see hairline has been completely a disaster. 4 or 5 hair in the hairline, bigger groups, temple recession, completely unnatural. His hair direction naturally going down, but the temple is in place like
And
this.
then it's just...
And when we go here on the right, again, same thing, praggy look, hair standing completely here, almost 90 degrees. And also, one of the complications is the ridge. Here the donor been hammered.
Yeah, he said his donor been hammered, although it still looks like his donor actually looks pretty thick. So good for him, it didn't over harvest like really much. But yeah, if you look in a nutshell from like far away, it might look like it's a great transplant, but if you look actually closer and when people gonna see you from face to face, it's just the hairline created mainly from like a multi-hair units, double grafts, triple grafts. There was even one or couple, I don't know how many of them, 5 hair grafts in the very front of the hairline. Imagine how pluggy it just looks, like a doll hair. And the problem with that is, especially if it's like implanted in the correct angles, like here the temple connection, if the angles are not done properly, like in the temple peaks as well, like really flat, matching your native hair, it's almost impossible to fix it. It's like you will either have to extract this graft and reimplant back again, which already gonna decrease the survival rate, and then it can create scarring and everything, and the new graft might, again, gonna be lower survival rate. Or, but again, if it's like so many grafts, you cannot punch them out, all of them. It's just, you can do it like, I don't know, for like a very small amount. Or you can laser them out with the lasers, which effectively just gonna destroy the hair follicle, and it would require you many sessions. I've spoken to some guys that had what, like 5, 6, even 7 laser removal sessions in some, you know, in temple peaks in the really bad created like a hairline, and these grafts are gone forever. So, you know, you have to be really careful. If it's not done properly, it's just gonna look so bad. And I don't know how that are gonna fix this guy, but hey, shout out by the way to him. Go check his channel, great educational channel, so much information. It's just, and he's one of the top doctors in the industry, like super knowledgeable, amazing guy. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of, you know, show, because it's like really interesting case. And when can we see full growth in crown? My opinion, the same, 12 months. It's like, if surgeon is saying you need to wait up to 18 months, more often than not, it's just an excuse, you know, to kind of wait. Because, I mean, yes, in the crown, the hair can, like, there is a little bit less blood supply, but it's not that big of a difference. Maybe like a 1 to maybe 3 months maximum. So again, at 12 months, I would expect all the hairs in the crown to be already sprouted and maturing. Maybe they will mature up 15, 16 months, but they already been sprouted. If there is no hair at 12 months, that's it. Don't expect anything else. Again, from all my experience, all the cases, hundreds, if not thousands already, cases I've seen online, is just, you know, that's how it works. Finasteride from the manual company, or have a consultation from a GP doctor. I seriously doubt your GP will actually prescribe you finasteride. It's like, most of the time they don't know nothing about it. They're just like, and look at you strange, like, why don't you just shave it? Like, no empathy at all. Like, and these people most of the time, they themselves have like are bald or have hair loss, and they just like, they don't know their options, or they don't want. They just like, yeah, whatever. So it's always best to find a person who is, you know, specializing in hair loss. Can muscle gains be maintained with finasteride? No. The gains that are made with any kind of treatment or medication, whatever, can be maintained only with that treatment. So if you gain some hair with finasteride, you can maintain it only with finasteride. If you have gains with minoxidil or gains with microneedling, you can maintain them only with minoxidil or microneedling. If you had gains with PRP, you can maintain only with PRP. If you had gains with low laser light therapy, you can maintain them only with LLOT. That's it. They are not, because they're all working in a completely different way. For us, it looks like just there is hair or there is not, but it's such a multifactorial. It's just yeah. So the short answer, no, you cannot keep the gains with the different medications. Brother Coop, how you doing, my friend? You're right, sup you all. I've seen your last video, really nice clean cut haircut. Getting better, good for you. One question, what if you don't clean your scalp after the transplant in time but after 3 months? At which point I saw a lot of hair falling, how can they impact the result? Well, if you not clean the grafts between day 10 and like 16, 18 in the first 2 weeks, let's say, your body will start thinking that these scabs are like a foreign body. So it can create inflammation, which is never a good thing for newly transplanted hairs. The transplanted hairs need all the nutrients and everything to blood supply to kind of bring them back like to life, because they were essentially transplanted. There is no guarantees they're gonna survive, even if they've been taken care of during the surgery perfectly. So you have to try your best. And if you're currently just removing your scalps after 3 months, just take them out, all of them at the same time. Make sure your scalp is nice and wet, and stay in the shower, take them out, and speak to your clinic and doctor and see what they say, because it's never a good idea. It's never a good idea. Although, having said that, I've seen some people that remove the scalps after like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I swear, I've seen a guy remove was walking all scabby like up to 1 month, and then he removed and he had a fantastic growth. So it's not necessarily 100% means it's a failure, but it's just increasing the chances of low survival. Moving on. Some people are not suitable for transplant. Yes, I 100% agree. Did you have a better than average donor area? Yes, I have definitely above average donor area in terms of follicles per centimeter square. I have so much hair, like graft in general on my donor, which is great. But my downside is my hair is super thin, 50 microns. So I need more hairs to be transplanted to create like a dense result. So it kind of balances it out, but I don't know. And actually, if you think about it, FE is gonna be even more expensive because I need more grafts. So I need to pay for more grafts. Hey, what you can do. And androgenic alopecia, especially under age 40. You know what? I'm gonna show this comment from G the Underdog. Mr. Rolandas, does finasteride help with lowering hairline? Like with Norwood 2 and Norwood 3, I know it thickens the bald spot around the crown, but what about getting the hairline to where it was? It all depends on the individual. It might work, might not. So nobody can tell you anything until you try and see how well you personally gonna respond. That's all I'm gonna say. Will you never need a hair transplant again? Hopefully not. There's other ways that I could spend all my money. But hey, I'm happy with my. Don't regret my decisions. I bet you feel more confident in your hair now, sir. Absolutely yes. Kevin Mann, yes, one and only. By the way, someone commented in the very beginning of the live stream saying, "Oh, you should do like a, live stream together with some other YouTubers and or like people or doctors." And I think it's a great idea. And I was actually thinking to start doing more of the live streams and with some other people. It can really bring on board more like a great ideas and and like be more educational, because every single person is in a different kind of place with their hair loss, with the transplants and everything. So everyone has like a different strategy. So If you got any suggestions or ideas, drop them in the comments down below with who you think I should do a live stream together on my channel. And hey, if you know, like if you think I should do like with certain person that is online, some YouTuber, go on his videos and just message him, comment there like, yeah, you should do with the Rolandas, and we'll take it from there. I'm more than happy to, you know, to start. It's like, I think it's great. So yeah, so many comments. Freaking hell, I already lost what I was before. Apologies if I missed some of you guys. I'm trying my best to answer some of them. Cannot hear any music. Oh, you cannot hear any music. Hold on, let me see it myself. There is in the background a little bit, but not very loud. What if we increase like that? Is it gonna be too much? Okay, delay. Okay, let me know guys right now in the chat if you think this is too loud. I think the background music is pretty cool idea to kind of put. Okay, I'm waiting for the chat whether it's too loud or not. Perfect now. Great. Okay, thank you, Anelia. Going back to the questions, where was I? Cannot hear the music. Fire up, by the way. How are you doing, my brother? I actually save my hair and genuinely don't wish hair loss for anyone. Story of my life. Do you know any good London doctor? Specifically in London, Dr. Reddy. Raghu Reddy, his work is so great. I'm always blown away. He's like donor management, the small punches, like natural hairline, the way he creates micro irregularities is so good. I'm a huge fan of his work. Really good doctor. He's in London. Also another good doctor that is in Portsmouth. It's outside London. Dr. Edward Ball, amazing surgeon. He's a little bit more on the conservative side, but he's as well. His hairline is freaking so natural. There's another doctor in London that is really conservative, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. He's actually doing a pretty good job. Dr. Tam. So yeah, you can check him out if you like his results. And there is of course another doctor in Leeds, the hair doctor, also doing pretty good job. So check them out and see which one you like, you know, most. Hello bro, do you have any information about good hair transplant clinic in Pakistan? I have same type of hair as you had before transplant, need your guidance. Unfortunately, I haven't. I mean, I've heard some names from Pakistan, but I cannot like remember for the love of God at all, to be honest. But I've seen some really incredible, really good natural looking results. Some people send me emails from, again, don't remember the doctor from Pakistan, but like there are out there. You just need to know how, like what to look for in a good hair transplant. And I've got really great videos on my channel, especially on my main page. When you're going on my channel, there is this pop-up video that is showing 5 steps how to identify good hair transplant clinic that's gonna be good for you. So make sure to check this video, and there's some other from the past, some videos that I've done on this subject. Check them out, educate yourself, and then you will not need my help to Rolandas, what do you think of this or that. You will be able to spot it by yourself. It just takes some time to, you know, learn. Hi Rolandas, where do you buy your oral minoxidil? I'm in the UK too, but can't find a source online. Oral minoxidil. So, like I mentioned before, Manual started offering oral minoxidil online in the UK here. So I think this is the only place that is like kind of mainstream that you can get. But check out also a video I've done on my channel about where to get oral minoxidil prescription. It's mainly focused on UK, but also other doctors in the US, in Europe. So I got literally dedicated video just for this case. Plenty of names with the prices, how to contact them, and you know, nothing affiliated. So just go ahead, you know, check it out. Plenty of you know, places. What do you think of splitting 5 mg of oral monoxide? Some say it's better not to split it as it loses effectiveness. It's an interesting subject. Ideally, the tablet should be in one form, like, because whenever you know, when the pill is done, there is a certain coating which helps with your digestion when it goes to, you know, to your stomach, digesting, you know, it kind of absorbs much better rather than when you're cutting. That being said, plenty of people I know using finasteride 5 mg tablet, Proscar for example, and they quartering it or making even 5 pieces, taking it every day and for like decades. They're taking it with, it works great, no side effects. So I don't know, you know, what to say. I know a lot of people are doing it at this, like cutting the pills, myself including. I'm cutting oral monoxide pills and it looks like it's working. This is my opinion. Fire up Johnny Bravo. Yes. What age were you when discovered your hair loss? I was, I think, about 20 years old when I slowly started noticing. I haven't noticed it much because I always have had kind of like a rounded hairline, never had this boxed straight hairline. But I noticed like slowly, but I never really had much thought, given much thought about it until I became literally like normal, I think 4. Like my whole frontal was gone, and then one guy, oh, Rolandas, I'll give you 1 more year and you're gonna be bald. I was like, oh, wait a second, what? that was fun. As good as a cut, have got it, surgeon did a great job. Yes, only 4 likes more. Only 4 likes? Seriously, oh, I see 24 likes. But hey guys, if you're 42 people watching, only 24 likes. If you appreciate this content, if you appreciate my time, I'm doing it for free, literally. Hello, I'm not making money out of it, I'm not making a living out of it. Do me a favor, do me a solid, hit that like button, help the YouTube algorithm spread the word, and you know, so more people gonna be gonna find this useful info and will be helped. Because I remember, like, I wish I could see more information on finasteride, like when I was much younger. The only thing I've seen was like misinformation about the side effects, overblown, and I was super scared to take finasteride for about 5 years. Like, I was Norwood 3 or something like this back then, and I became Norwood 5. Imagine how much hair I could have saved. Biggest regret so far in my life. So yeah, let's try to prevent as many people as we can from doing what I did, basically, and save more hair. London beauty photographer, would you recommend any London doctor or the clinic? Oh, well, first of all, thanks so much for £1.79, very specific. I wonder what can I buy for £1.79. I think there are some beers. I'll definitely grab some. But yeah, I think I already answered your question, so hopefully that helps. What's your opinion about PRP and mesotherapy? PRP not created equal. I even was talking today with one trachologist. Believe it or not, I had a consultation with trachologist. Anyways, was talking to her and about PRP, and it's not created equal. It can work, it cannot work. Some people are really great responders, some people not so much. And she even said from her practice, PRP, like the results from PRP can be just as good as results from just microneedling by itself. And as we know, just results from microneedling by itself are usually not much. So then PRP can be really expensive. So, you know, I'm not a big fan, I'm not a big believer. If you're a multimillionaire, you got plenty of money, find the doctor with a consistent, amazing results of PRP. Fly somewhere to US or whatever it is to get them consistently every month or every 3 months or whatever it is, every 6 months. By all means, it can be great, but other than that, just finasteride minoxidil can be so much better and cheaper, so much easier to sustain long term. Right, moving on to the comments. What about people who are 40 plus, their DHT is already weak, do they still need finasteride? It depends, but to be honest, the hair loss truly never stops. And it's not about how high or how low your DHT is. Some people with the low DHT still have male pattern baldness. simply because like their hair follicles are prone or susceptible to DHT base. Their hair follicles are very sensitive to any DHT in the body. So the way I see it this way, they're like people that have no male pattern baldness, they still have DHT. Some of them, they have a crazy amount of DHT in their body. But why they don't experience any hair loss? Think about it. Only because their hair follicles, individual follicles in every single follicle is as individual follicle and can be individually have different sensitivity. So their follicles are not sensitive. So that's again the same way you can explain different Norwood patterns. Why some people gonna be only Norwood 3, some people gonna be Norwood 5, Norwood 6, Norwood 7. Why? Because some people have a different sensitivity in different areas of their scalp. Some people have fat sensitivity to DHT in their donor, hence they have DUPA, so-called diffuse unpatterned alopecia, so their donor is miniaturizing. So the DUPA is diagnosed if you have more than you have 20% and more of miniaturization in your donor. But certain amount of miniaturization in the donor is absolutely fine. Every single person will have certain amount of hairs in there, and it's normal because some follicles will be susceptible. So again, even if you have a low DHT, even this small amount of DHT still can be enough for your follicles to undergo miniaturization. Hence why it's, you know, some people need finasteride, some people need dutasteride to completely nuke the DHT. I mean, dutasteride not completely is nuking scalp DHT, is completely nuking by 90-something% serum DHT, but scalp DHT is still gonna be decreased by, I think, I don't know, 70% even with dutasteride. So they need up to 2.5 milligram of dutasteride per day, just this crazy amount to kind of basically lower DHT, scalp DHT as much as possible. But you know, every individual gonna be different, so you will never know until you try, basically. This is my answer. Very sharp picture quality. Thank you very much. It's supposed to be full HD, 1080p and 60 frames per second, so it's really nice and smooth. Really nice autofocus. It's not the best autofocus or the quality, but I'm really happy, to be honest. I paid for this camera only 100 pounds. It's so cheap. And it's just connected to the PC and it works great, like amazing. But of course, for doing the videos, not enough. It needs to have a lot of light in order to make it great quality. How did your hair deal with the 40-degree heat? Oh, I was sweating. But hey, it's still here, it didn't fall off, so it's all good. No myths on side effects. I tried it, it will be the worst decision of your life. Hey, on the flip side, I've tried it, I've been on it for 3 years, for every single day full dose, and I didn't have any side effects. How are you gonna approach this? So, I'm not saying side effects are myths, but some people will experience side effects, but vast majority will not. And it's unfortunately, there is no way to find out whether you will have it or not unless you try it. So, everyone's personal, you know, opinion. Any opinion on dutasteride daily versus 3 times a week, like it recommends for finasteride by some doctors? Thanks for your content and great information. Maverick. Dutasteride half-life is so much longer than finasteride, therefore some people can get away with like once a week. But they usually still taking finasteride like other days of the week. Just because taking once, it's not gonna reduce your DHT level as low. Maybe, logically speaking, if you reduce your DHT, for example, you take dutasteride or finasteride on a daily basis for long periods of time, like for 2, 3, 5 months, whatever it is, and then you start dutasteride, but not as frequently, I would say it can kind of keep your DHT levels kind of stable. But again, it should be like nobody really knows what frequency, how often you need to take it on a weekly basis or every other day or 3 times a week, every day, whatever it is, dutasteride to keep this like a DHT level stable. And like I said before, like follicles can be sensitive to different levels of DHT in your body. It all depends on you. So it's basically trial and error. You have to try for yourself and see what works best for you. Unfortunately, there is no, there is no correct or wrong answer here. Hello, dear friend. Should mesotherapy and strengthening drugs be used continuously after hair transplantation? If your donor is safe and strong and the hair transplant was done correctly, you don't need anything to keep your hair transplant. However, you need the drugs and medications and whatnot to keep your existing hair from falling off and with your hair loss to progress. Because imagine you have just in the corners, your normal 3, you have a transplant just over here, and then you don't take any medication, and your hair loss progresses to Norwood 5, Norwood 5A, like myself. So you're gonna be with the 2 horns of the hair, nothing in the middle, nothing behind it. You're gonna look like a devil. So yeah, medications are there to prevent further progression of hair loss, not required for the transplant. Unless your donor is unstable and the transplant still was performed, which is not advisable, then you will have to stay on medication to kind of prevent, because this donor was not strong enough to begin with. Who would you consider to be #1 UK baldness influencer? Either a bald celeb who talks about it or someone who explicitly talks about the subject. I'll be quite honest. I'm not a big fan of mainstream media. I'm not looking into news. I'm not watching news. I'm not reading newspapers. It's just, to me, it's a politics. Everything is a politics. So I don't know if, you know, in like influencers or celebrities. I'm not following this, and for me it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, every influencer, every like celebrity, they just usual human beings. It's just they're different than some of us. It's just because of what they do for a living. That's it. They are the same human being. They have the same kind of, you know, genetics, whatnot. They're losing the hair in the same way we do, and they taking the same drugs, the same medications, the same transplants. Everything is the same. So don't overthink celebrities. And on that note, if you see celebrity going for a hair transplant to some specific clinic, this does not mean the clinic is good, or this guy gonna have a good transplant. Or even if you guy gonna have a good transplant, if the clinic has 5, 10, 20 patients per day, it does not mean you will have the same good experience this guy had. Because think logically, this guy is a celebrity, he's gonna be endorsing this clinic. The clinic is in the best interest of the clinic to make as best job as possible for him. What are the chances you're gonna be having the same celebrity treatment? You know what I mean? Unless it's the same doctor or the same group of, you know, team, whatever, doing the same surgery, 1 patient a day, every day. So every result should technically be similar to each other. So in this case, maybe yes. But again, never trust celebrities. Do your own research. Don't trust anyone, including me. Okay. Music is getting quiet and then it gets louder. Well, I guess it depends on the music. I feel like this. Oh, okay. Let's play another song. Where were we? The chat is just moving so fast. Rolandas, you and Brother Coop should do a collaboration. Maybe we should. Who knows? What kind of collaboration we're gonna do? What do you think of Dr. Bitzer? Dr. Bitzer is a great doctor in Turkey. One of the few ones, very few ones in Turkey that actually doing a great job. So, but as always, look at her results and see if you like them. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say, because it always comes to the same. If you like, you should like to have these results you see online to have on your head of hair, on your head. That's it. If you like it, go for it. If you don't, find someone else that you're gonna like. Rolandas should do a mini pass on the crown to prevent further. You saw the introduction video? Hair transplants do not prevent hair loss. If anything, the hair transplant gonna accelerate your existing hair loss because of the surgical trauma, especially if you're not on medication like finasteride. So, no, it's not. Transplants is just a catch-up game. It's replacing what's been lost. That's it. If you're gonna lose more, you will have to do more. Let's leave it at that. Rolandas thanks for great video. I'm 26, have been balding since I was 18. I've been on finasteride, minoxidil since I was 19 or 20. I just maintain my hair. Should I get a hair transplant? I cannot tell you whether or not you should get a hair transplant, but you should think about hair transplant as an absolute last resort, because there are things that can go wrong even in best hands. There's some, like I was talking to one guy today that he went to a good doctor, but he had a really poor growth, and the job was done okay. The extractions were done great, implantations, everything is like fine, but for some reason there was just poor growth. Why? Nobody knows. Things like that happen. So you need to be prepared to get a bad outcome. Don't overharvest it. It can happen. You can have a bad shock loss that will not return, even if the extractions are done properly. It just happens like that. You never know how you're gonna respond to hair transplant. You have to be ready to have a poor growth. You have to be ready to get another 2 or 3 even transplant just to fix it, just in case. Not everything gonna be perfect in this life, even if you go to the best clinic surgeons in the world. So always be careful moving forward with the hair transplant. It's always a risk, even though it can look like it's not. Rolandas, but can I fight with hair loss if I use minoxidil and derma roller long term? WWE theme song. The answer is no. If it's male pattern baldness, if it's DHT, you're gonna be fighting and losing battle. You're gonna lose eventually. DHT will overpower this minoxidil microneedling. At best, I would say gonna give you extra maybe 2-3 years. That is still gonna look okay or a little bit better, but since ever after gonna be just decreasing, gonna look worse and worse. It all depends on severity of your male pattern baldness and sensitivity to DHT, but usually it's not gonna work out long term. Regarding popping, I know you had it on second surgery and it turned out okay, but is there much risk attached to it for a normal person? Well, popping usually happens mainly when it's done with DHI for like implanted pens, and it happens when there is too much like a blood, blood supply, like a lot of blood flow going on, and if your skin is like a really loose, it's just you pressing and then another one popping out. I had a lot of it during my first transplant. During my second transplant, I had much less, almost nothing, only because Dr. Ferreira already knew my skin, he knew how to tackle this, to be more careful. So he was he was trying to make implantations spaced between each other much more, like implanting somewhere here and then he's implanting somewhere over there. So this graft has some time to kind of glue it up, with the blood, because when the graft is implanted, the blood that is in the incision is basically working as a glue to keep these grafts in place. So the longer they're gonna stay there, even like a few minutes, usually it's enough to kind of prevent further popping. But it's still possible, and the more popping is happening, the more you need to push these grafts back, and the more you're pushing them back, the more you're touching them, the more damage you can make to them, the less survival it can be. So I was really worried after my first transplant, when I had like fucking 60 or 70% of popping, that I'm gonna have a really poor growth, but turned out everything fine. So I'm really, thankful to God and to Dr. Ferreira, of course, for a great job. But again, this kind of complications can happen, you never know. So yeah. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Aquisi 100. Anyway, sorry for botching your nickname. Rolandas, good evening, bro. Hope you're well. Nice to see you. Again, long-time supporter. I've seen you on other, YouTube channels and the live streams. Welcome aboard. Welcome to my live stream. It's been a while since I've done it, and I've decided I have to start it again. Rolandas, please list us best transplant doctors in Europe, not Turkey. There's so many of them. Listen, there is no such a thing as best transplant or clinic. There is a bad transplant or clinic. So there is a bad way of doing transplant, and then there is a good way of doing transplant. But every good way gonna look different, and some people might like it, even though it's still done in a good way, or might not like it. So because there is a thing called artistry. Every single doctor will have a different their artistic view. They're gonna see the way they like to recreate like a hairline, the way they implanting the grafts, the way like the angles and directions of the hair. The donor management is gonna be different from doctor to doctor. So I always suggest don't focus on like one name or best hair transplant. This such thing doesn't really exist. You have to find consistency. Find a doctor who is doing it consistently, like one patient a day, for example, and have a look at 20 people that done the transplant in there, and chances are somewhere average of these 20 patients is gonna be you, if everything gonna go well. And just see for yourself if you like implantation angles, if you like hairline designs, if you like how the donor management, if you like how spreading the implantations, or like all of these little things. But to name a few names, I know all people just want names and that's it. They don't care about researching. Okay, some few names. Dr. Mursano in Hattingen here in Switzerland. Top of the line, FETs, FEs, everything. Dr. Saifi that did the transplant for the hair chemist, Killian. Amazing as well. FET, FE, great doctor. Dr. Ball in UK, again, FET, FE, amazing doctor. Boom. Dr. Reddy, as mentioned, only FE. Then Dr. Ferreira, obviously, Dr. Ferreira, Dr. Pinto, Ximena Villa, Pekiner in Turkey. You said not Turkey, but Dr. Pekiner is amazing. FE expert, you know, Dr. Couto, Dr. Lorenzo, Dr. Zarev in Bulgaria. It's just so many names that, you know, Dr. Bisanka, Dr. Feridun, Dr. Lupanzula. It's just so many names, but all of them, they are gonna be doing like surgery slightly different way in their way. So you need to look at all of them and see what you like most. Rolandas is #1 in the UK. Yes, thank you very much. Right. What do you think about chest hair transplant for diffuse thinners with poor donor area? Yes, chest hair can be, any body hair can be used. The problem with the body hair, especially chest hair, that the anagen phase is very short. It's something about between 1 and 6 months. So after that, it's gonna go through shedding, you're gonna shed, and then it'll start growing again. So it takes a long time. And I mean, the hair will not gonna grow long. It's great to add visual density, but after 1 to 6 months, the hair gonna shed, and then you're gonna be in a telogen phase, which is not gonna be growing at all, for another probably 6 months or so. So the anagen phase is shorter and the telogen phase is longer for body hair. That's why it's not ideal. I like the best body hair is beard hair, because the anagen phase is up to like 1 or 2 years for some people. And while scalp hair is anagen phase is up to 7 years. So, you know, it just can grow long and like without before falling off. But yeah, any other body hair is just not the best. It can add to overall density, but it has to be only like mixed with lots of scalp hair in order to achieve the best possible, you know, result. But yeah, but if you have a poor donor area, probably you're not a good candidate for surgery to begin with. So you have to be really careful before committing to a hair transplant. You know, just think twice. What's the right age for the hair transplant? I know a lot of doctors would say 25 years old, 30 years old. In my opinion, it doesn't matter as long as family history is in check and your personal like hair loss, you know, and whether or not you're on medication. You can be 20 years old, for example, 20 years old, you're on Norwood 3. And every single male in your family, in a distant family, are Norwood 3 as well. So chances are you're not gonna be progressing any further than that. It's just, I mean, again, arguably you're still 20, still many years, and you can progress. There is a chance, but there's a chance you can be the first one in the family that's gonna have aggressive baldness. But more likely than not, it's not gonna be as bad. So, of course, this is like a really severe example. It really depends on the situation. But of course, there are always gonna be clinics that are gonna do transplant on anyone. If you're 18 and they're gonna lower your hairline on your forehead and you're gonna look ridiculous. So Good doctors, they're usually waiting at least for 25, 30 years, and especially they considering if person is on medication, they're assessing their family history, and then they kind of plan ahead because, you know, plan has to be done long term. Right. What do you do for a living? Oh, what I didn't do for a living during this COVID time. Currently, I'm working as a catering manager in the catering hospitality basically. So, yeah, nothing fancy. I'm not a multimillionaire. What do you think about Dr. Kesser? Dr. Kesser he's a great doctor overall. He's in Turkey, by the way. He's one of the most expensive ones there. But I'm not a fan that he's not using microscopes to properly check for like a single doubles and triples. So hence why sometimes on his hairlines you can notice some doubles implanted in the very front just because he didn't notice or whatever. But overall he's doing a really great job. He's taking it easy. He's not taking, I think, big Norwood levels. He's taking like doing something like 500 grafts per day, I think, or something along those lines. Only manual. If he only again manual or motorized, it doesn't really matter, to be honest, as long as the punch size is small. But yeah, overall he's a great doctor, to be honest. Again, just look at his results, whether you like them or not. What's the best DHT blocker? The best DHT blocker is detach rate. I think from studies what we have is 2.5 milligram per day. But the standard dose of detach rate is 0.5 milligram per day. You should collaborate with Matt Dominance. I see he's just started oral minoxidil, so would be good to compare results. I mean, yeah, Matt Dominance, actually, I sent him a message recently and I wanted to bring him to this first live stream just to kind of, just have a chat, friendly chat and see, like answer some questions, but he busy, I don't know, he didn't see my message or he decided not to see my message. What can I do? But yeah, I've seen his video, he started oral minoxidil. Well, what can I say? Welcome to the club. I've been there already for 1 year. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to compare my results to anyone else because most of my results are from transplant. There is very small areas that are not transplanted. Maybe that's what we can compare. I don't know. Can I block DHT without finasteride? I scared of using finasteride. Doctor told me it used for prostate. You cannot. I mean, no, you cannot block DHT without finasteride. I mean, you can block DHT technically with soap palmetto, but the side effects are coming not from medication, whether it's natural or not natural. It's coming from the thing that medication does, so which is reducing DHT levels by blocking 5-alpha reductase enzyme in your body. So if soap palmetto is a natural DHT blocker, but it's not reducing nearly as much DHT as finasteride, and it's more often than not, it just doesn't work at all for people. Hence, I suggest not to bother and waste your time and most importantly, waste your hair with this and just start with finasteride. If you are worried, just start with the low dose because it doesn't matter if you're gonna have a side effects, if you're sensitive to, prone to side effects, you're gonna get them either with finasteride or even with sulfamethyl. Because it's not about whether it's healthy, natural or not, it's about what it does in your body. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Would you please reveal how many euros your procedure cost with Dr. Ferreira? I paid for 2 transplants, I paid something about 15,000 euros altogether. I mean, just the surgeries, plus on top I had to pay for obviously like accommodation, hotels, traveling, food, you know, whatnot, medication, finasteride, minoxidil is all by myself, but only the surgery, you know, all I had with Dr. Ferreira. That's how much, he was much cheaper back then. He was charging 2.5 euro per graft when I had my first surgery with him, and he was charging 2.5 euro per graft for the first 4,000. After 4,000 grafts, he was charging 2 euro per graft, so it was a bit cheaper than he is right now. I know he's a bit more expensive, so yeah, it might differ. Have you heard about cyclosporin to regrow hair? The guy from Hair Cafe did a video about it. Yes, I heard from this guy, and it seems like it could have been a really great solution or potential solution for hair loss. Unfortunately, as we know, it didn't work out because of like fear mongering basically, and not enough research done on it, and now it's off patent the problem is with these drugs that have been on for a while, like RU50841 as well. Why nobody wants to invest into it and do actual, clinical trials? They could easily, but there is no money to be made in it, sadly. Nobody cares about our hair, everyone cares about, money. This is why, because you can get RU right now easily from like Chinese, this like gray or black markets. And you can start using it, but we don't know how it works because there is no studies done. So the same thing happened there. Unfortunately, that's, it was a really interesting treatment. So yeah, Turkey. Which Turkey clinic do you think is good? I think my favorite is Dr. Pekiner in Turkey. It's just really great. Do you know about Dr. Sami Mija from Want Hair UK? No, I do not. I don't know. I don't know this. What's the doctor in Turkey again? Pekiner. It's Dr. Kaan, double A, Kaan Pekiner. I think now he is going under a clinic name Neo Hair. Or you can find him on Instagram. Portugal, yes. Turkey, no. Are you planning another hair transplant soon? I'm not planning another hair transplant soon, but it's possible I'll have just another one, just because, why not? You live only once. But yeah, I'm not rushing into it. I'm really happy with the way what I got right now. Would you do one-on-one online talk? A lot of people asking me this, and as much as I would like to help everyone, I simply don't have the time for it because I'm not making money out of it. I'm just donating my free time. Even right now, I'm not making anything from these 2 hours of this live stream. I'm just spending my free evening. I could have easily doing something else, but and yeah, I'm trying to reply to all the comments, and the best thing that I think is fair is if you're asking me during live streams or asking in the comments under the videos. So the more comments we have, the more it helps to the algorithm to spread the word, to reach more people. So that's where I'm the most engaged. So I suggest to ask your questions in there. I sometimes reply to emails, I sometimes reply to private messages, but I'm getting so many of them on Instagram, Facebook, on email. It's just, even on TikTok, that I simply cannot reply to every single person. It's just, I don't have the time for it. And, so yeah, I don't do one-on-one talks. Let's put it this way. Why does Aslitar can still be in business? Why are they not stopped? Marketing. So many butchers out there that's just butchering people on a daily basis, and people are contacting me, and I'm talking with them like, and it's the same names, it's the same clinics, like year after year, and it doesn't matter. That's what we're doing here. That's why I'm trying to educate as many people as possible on what, because unfortunately, if I will start creating videos about this specifically clinics, this is gonna assume me I tried in the past with some clinics, like literally it's just not worth my time, and like headache and everything. Just I rather focus on education, so people know what to look for and what, like show some examples what like that looks bad, and everyone has to make their own decisions. Unfortunately, it's all about money, and they have lots of it. People that they have like 20-30 patients per day. These people think, oh, the clinic is charging only 2,000 euros, so they're not greedy. But this doctor is charging 10,000 or 15 or 20,000 euro for the surgery. Is really greedy. No, this doctor is having you in one patient in 2 days. He is making 10,000 euro, and this clinic has 20 patients that's charging by 2,000 euro per day. How much they making? 40,000 per day. Multiply by 5, they're probably operating Saturday, Sunday. God knows who is doing the surgeries, what kind of taxi drivers from the past or whatever. Who is the greedy one? Who is the, anyways, don't want to talk, to go into it too much, but yeah, it's just, it's a wild west, this is the whole industry. That's all I'm gonna say. Hi, can you make a video where you talk about the best products to use on hair. Best gel, best wax, pomade. You know, it's an interesting subject. Again, it's the same thing. There is no best, like a pomade or wax or whatever. There's so many good ones. Even the bad ones, the only thing they're gonna do is, unless it's like a super harsh chemicals that you have a super like allergic reactions, most likely it's not gonna cause any hair loss or whatever. You know, it's gonna be fine. But there are some products, for example, I'm using the Blue Man line. They're more expensive. There is this one guy, YouTuber, that I was like a hair guy, all about hairstyles and everything. I was following him for many years, like way before I started YouTube. So he created his whole line of hair products. He's charging more premium, but the products itself are amazing. He has plenty of oils and everything, and I'm using them on a daily basis. I even can put a lot, and whenever I like wash them off, or even I can wash with the water, or even after the whole day I can restyle it and everything. My hair feels healthy. My hair feels like, hey, it has moisture and everything. It's just great. So I would say just don't cheap out on the hair products. That's all I'm gonna say. And as always, do your own research. Hey Mordy, how you doing? Howdy. Mordy, I think it's about time for you to send me your results, what you got so far, because I remember I covered on my channel, I did a video dedicated to checking on how your surgery went. So that was a great video. So hopefully maybe you can send me some update and we can make a follow-up on this. What do you think? Let me know. What are your recommendations for Afro hair transplant? One and only recommendation: go to a doctor that has a proven track record of doing Afro hair. That's it. You have to find someone who is consistently doing the same great job. All boils down to the same. As little amount of surgeries per day done by this doctor or clinic, the better. The least surgeries done per day, the better, basically. If it's one surgery per day, means one patient per day, and every single patient has been looked after, or the work was done by the same doctor or by the same technician or by the same team, the more consistency is going to be. My example, Dr. Ferreira, is always doing all the extractions, he's always doing all the implantations. So if he's done a great job on me, chances are he's going to do a great job on the next guy. And I've spoken to so many people that went to Dr. Ferreira privately. Of course, believe it or not, most people don't want to, go online and talk about it, about the hair loss and transplants, but they have a great, pretty much just like mine, hair transplants. They look exactly really nice, and micro irregularities, donor management, everything. So this is what I always like pray, like just find a doctor who is doing consistently like great work. So whether it's Afro or not Afro. So for example, I haven't seen any work from Dr. Ferreira on Afro hair, so I don't know how he can do it. Maybe he did something. I don't know. I haven't seen it. So maybe he wouldn't be a best choice. But I know, for example, Dr. Bisanga, Dr. Lupanzula, they're definitely doing a lot of Afro hair. They like, choose them. Just an example. Would you recommend Dr. Juan Couto? It's an interesting one. I haven't seen real people posting results from him, but looking at his YouTube channel is just phenomenal job. That being said, all the results are favorable. Like usually people that have a thick hair, good donor and everything. But again, it looks like he's doing a great job. Good donor management, good implantation, good hairline designs and everything. Just enough density. So yeah, I mean, he looks great. It's gonna be your decision in the end of the day, but personally, I wouldn't wait 4 years just for a surgery. I know, his waiting list is just crazy. Erlans, I'm going to send you what my donor looks like. I did a fade last week. Need your opinion on whether there is anything left. You know what, Mordi? You already sent it to me. I'm just checking. If you want, or maybe I need to blur your face. Let me see the pictures. You know what? I can show the pictures without your face. Unless, okay. Let me know right now in the chat if you want me to show with your face, because it takes time to blur it and everything, so I'm not gonna be able to do it right now. But if you want, I can just show it everything right now, all the pictures you send me. Tell me, you want it or not? I'll give you 5 seconds to reply. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that's it. Okay, we're not doing. I'm joking. Check your email. What do you think of Ximena Villa? Ximena Villa is great. I was actually considering her myself as well, but I decided against it. So check on the video again why I chose Dr. Ferreira. I went through everything in there. All right, since Morty is happy, let's share his pictures. Oh, it's plenty of them. Here's my transplant looks now. 8 months would they fail? Follow-up video. Okay, done with the flash. Not the best. Not the best way because it's just gonna reflect. It's just really, really unrealistic view. Again with the flash, so not even gonna be commenting. Blurry. Well, this part it looks okay. There was, if you look at the picture with the flash, it looks like here is can be a little bit like a thinner there. I don't know. Let's see some more pictures. Nothing focused, so really I cannot say anything really. Okay, so again, not the best angle, not the best quality, but what did you say you had the how short you went? Fade last week. Okay, well it looks pretty okay, like a length. It doesn't look like it's over harvested or anything, but it definitely not super thick. But as far as I remember, you never had like a super thick donor, so I think donor management was like spot on. Dr. Cole obviously is a freaking amazing surgeon, one of the top in the world, so you know I wouldn't expect anything less from him. It does look like a little bit thinner over here, but again, what do you say? 8 months. At 8 months I would say like almost 100% of your donor like supposed to be recovered, so it's very unlikely it will get any better than that. It's possible there are some people, but it's very unlikely. I think you might have very slight retrograde alopecia over there, so maybe a good idea, or maybe not. Maybe it's just again the picture, because I think it's even this picture made with a flash. But I never been a fan of this kind of haircuts, like a really straight line. I like when it's like faded, kind of much, like a little bit shorter here and slowly going up, it's getting longer. I think I see some extraction points. Are these extraction points? Like these dots. They're like a orange, or maybe you have something on your scalp, or maybe it's just like freckles or something. 2 guard, okay. Well, all I'm gonna say, it looks pretty uniform. It doesn't stand out or anything. Maybe there is some, oh, hold on. Maybe there is something here, but I wouldn't say necessarily it stands out. It's just like probably with the flash done. Yeah, there is definitely a little bit thinner over here. Or you know what, it might be also your hair. It's just salt and pepper style, so it might be like a lighter hair in this area and it's just standing out. What I would suggest, like I said, the haircut, ask him to fade like from a skin fade or like a number 1 guard, for example, at the bottom, and going up, make it higher. Don't go like everywhere like that. Just up to here, like a guard, up to here, let's say guard 1, then guard 2, guard 3, and guard 4. And they're gonna be looking much better. I know it looks a bit lighter here. I wonder why. Is it? But it looks like there's still a lot of hair in there, so I cannot really say. It's just bigger gaps. Yeah, from here it looks fine. To be honest, it looks really homogeneous extraction. Like if it was decreased density overall in your donor, it looks like it's been decreased pretty nicely everywhere, so it doesn't like just focused in one area that looks like really bad. And yeah. Okay, you happy for me to show your top area? Let's see. Yeah. As far as I remember, you were like a Norwood 5 like myself, and you didn't have any hairline or anything, so this is just so much better. I don't remember now how much it was transplanted. Was it all over the place, all over the Norwood 5 area? Because let's be realistic, for the to cover the whole Norwood 5 area you need a lot of grafts, like 6,000 like I had minimum. And I think you had, like, how many did you had grafts? Something like 4,000, maybe even less, 3,000 something. Would you write down in the chat? I'm just curious. So this, of course, will never be enough, but overall to sprinkle a little bit here, a little bit there, it gives you nice coverage. I see it's been focused mainly in the frontal hairline. It gives you something to play with. The transplant was 4,000. There you go. Yeah, so that's about right. 4,000 to recreate the front. About right. Something similar to what I had. That being said, I had a little bit denser looking result only because it's just I have a really like a good hair per graft ratio. So my hair per graft ratio was like 273, I think. So it means a lot of individual hairs per graft. I had lots of triples. But for you, I think you had like not many, maybe triples, like maybe mainly doubles. Hence why it doesn't create this huge illusion of density. But I think it looks good compared to where you started. It's like you have something to play with right now. You got a hairline, for God's sake. And just a touch of fibers here and there, like a new person. Yeah, coming from Norwood 5 looks very good. Absolutely, I definitely agree. Yeah, thanks Morty for sharing. Yeah, like I said, donor looks good. Like really nice. Homogeneous extraction is like the donor density was decreased everywhere. I remember your donor was not perfect, but you know, hey, you knew what you're signing for. You know, you probably understood what the potential outcomes, and you know, you cannot expect perfect like miracle or result. And I think, you know, considering where you started, how the surgery was done, you know, it's a reasonable outcome, and I'm pretty sure you're really happy with it. So, I wanted to answer some more email. Oh, it's already been 2 hours. God dang. Maybe I think it's time to wrap up. Okay, let's go through some more questions and I'll have to wrap up. Have you heard about somebody Alex, the YouTuber? He proved you can regrow hair fighting inflammation. I've seen some of his videos in the past. I mean, nothing interesting, I guess. This guy had just a great response, personal response to finasteride. He like regrew a lot of hair and that's all about it. Like, I don't know how he proved or whatever that you can fight hair with inflammation, but prove me if you stop finasteride and then regrow hair, then we're gonna talk. I seriously doubt he would ever do it. Any promising news or any new discoveries on how to fix hair loss other than current surgeries and treatments? Not a big fan of speculations. So I'm not the guy for future treatments, but as far as I've seen, nothing interesting. I mean, I'm personally just looking forward to Brisula. However, not great it might be, it's still another way of tackling hair loss. And also, of course, I'm looking into pyrrolidamide. This is probably the most anticipated drug so far in the upcoming future. That's all about it. That's all about it. Do it. Let's see his bald head. Mordecai got the balls. I went to Aslitar Khan for a hair transplant and they destroyed my donor area. Can you please share my experience and photos with Aslitar Khan with the public? Well, you can do it yourself on the you know, forums, on you know, Facebook groups. You can create your own YouTube channel for this. And I don't want to say no, but I'm not a big fan of doing the dedicated videos, like bashing the clinics. Like as I mentioned before, the clinics have no issues suing you. Just like that, just because they don't like the content. And believe me when I say, if you, like, I've seen so many botched jobs from certain hair mills, especially in Turkey, like last year, 2 years ago. But now you cannot really see this like reviews or posts or whatever, like they magically disappear. And I exactly remember that they were there. Which means the clinics are really doing a great job at basically threatening everyone and removing them. And I've spoken to some people that were trying to, that were actually going to the court with some of these clinics, and it's really a tough game to win. Because you are just a normal person, you don't have a doctor degree, you cannot say anything whether the transplant is good or not, because he is a doctor, he is a professional, and he has a professional opinion, your opinion is not professional. So your word will always weigh less. Doesn't matter if it's destroyed job or not. It's just just sad reality. It's a tough game, and I don't want to be involved into this. It's just, why do I need to? I would need to make so much money just to cover the cost of lawsuits. Yeah, I had some interesting, experience in the past. Don't want to go back into this. And what do people mean when they call a clinic a hair mill? I don't know what other people think. In my books, hair mill is the place that is doing loads of surgeries per day. It means they have 5, 10 patients, 20 patients per day, every day. So they have multiple teams, a lot of teams of technicians usually, or doctors, but usually it's technicians. And so you cannot find the cannot find the consistency. If one person went to this clinic that's doing 20 patients per day and he had a good result, what are the chances that you're gonna go there and you're gonna get a just as great result? Well, 1 out of 20, because you don't know what these other 19 technician teams, how good they are. Chances are they're not gonna be good because, not so many great, doctors and technicians in this field. And they don't have to be in a Turkey. They couldn't care less about the quality. They care about just as many patients as possible. That's it, giving subpar result. That's it. So to me, it's a gamble, and that's why I call them hair mills, because it's like a mill. It's just people going in and out non-stop. That's what I call it. I had a transplant 10 weeks ago. Currently looks awful around the crown. Would you recommend for me to shave it off or to grow it out? Well, at 10 weeks, you should not expect any growth at all, to be honest, from my experience and many others. So it looks like you're just about right on track. You can actually shave it, but most doctors would suggest to use scissors, not to use the clippers on the recipient area. So cut it short, make it look as good as you possibly can, and it's a waiting game, and you just have to wait. Have you seen videos of Dr. Oscar Munoz? I think I've seen, but I don't recall. I think is he the one talking about oral minoxidil? I think. I'm not talking about this Sergivano. Or maybe I'm. Anyways, never mind. Just gonna block this thing. Okay, this has been already answered. Please can I block the hair Rolandas, great content as usual. I had hair transplant with Ferreira and it was the best decision of my life. Thank you. Quick question, almost 2 years after my hair transplant, I noticed that some of my transplanted hair is still wiry. Did you experience the same? Cannot say whether or not I had the still wiry hair, but I guess it can happen. I don't have the answer to it because the hair usually mimics your transplanted hair, but also hair can get a bit kinkier or like a more wiry looking like after the transplant if it's implanted not deep enough or it's been pushed, or if you had the popping and the doctor had to push it back, it might be like kind of damaged in a way a little bit, that it's growing slightly different way than it should have been in the first place. So this is just like another thing to basically to consider, that this can happen even like in the best hands. Personally, I couldn't say I had any kinky kind of wiry hair. I don't know. I don't feel like I had any. Some Russian comment. Можно пересадить печень и другие органы другого человека, а фолликулы нельзя. В чем прикол? А прикол в том, что Влад, I will speak now in Russian. Пересадить волосы от другого человека можно, но надо принимать некоторые препараты, которые принимают те люди, которые делают пересадки других органов, которые уменьшают твой иммунитет, чтобы ты мог жить с этими пересадками. Но для пересадки волос это нету смысла, потому что ты можешь жить лысым, не умрешь. So what I was replying to this guy, he was asking if that in Russian that some people have transplants of other organs and they have successful living with it. How come we cannot have a transplant of hair from other people and live with it? And the answer is simple. These people are on medications that are suppressing immune system, so the immune system is not rejecting, this organs because they're not theirs. They are foreign bodies, and there is no point to do it for a hair transplant because you need to have a good immune system to have a good life, and you can live good life being bald. You cannot live good life, or you cannot live life at all without a heart. You know what I mean? So that's the answer. What do you think about verteporfin and pyrrolutamide? Pyrrolutamide I already said. Looking forward to it. Verteporfin, I'm not buying the fact that they're gonna regrow hair. I'm looking forward to this doctor from Jordan, I think. From Jordan, that is doing this clinical trial with this one patient to see if we're gonna regrow hair or not after a few transplant, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't see how it's gonna work. Surely it works on the mice, but you know, so many things that works on mice, but on nobody else. So I hope he's gonna prove me wrong. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, guys, I think I will have to wrap it up. It was really great answering all of your questions. If you got any more, make sure to comment down after the live stream is finished, and I'll try to come to most of them back and answer all of them. And if you go, you can try your luck. Send me an email. Maybe I'll have time to review it. No promises, but keep it short, and I'll try my best to answer to all of them. And what do you think of this live stream and this overall setup? The camera, the music, the introduction. If you haven't seen the introduction video, just go once this live stream is finished, go and check it out. Really, really cool. I really like the idea. And yeah, what do you think overall? And of course, as always, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, support, so we can spread the word and help as many people as we possibly can to save hair, and not just to save hair and not to be just bought by the bad transplants, because as the more information you know, the better you're gonna end up, you know, being the more success you're gonna have. And for now, thank you so much for watching. And you know what, guys, I'm really proud of my last video, and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play it for you because it's a really, really, really cool video. And let's do it this way. So if you haven't seen it, really, really cool. Losing hair at a young age can get really emotional. I started losing my hair when I was about 20 years old. And you know how it works. You know, at first you're in denial, it's just stress, just need to clean up my diet. You know, it's not that bad really. You know, eventually it hits you when your friends, you know, starts commenting on your receding hairline. And this is when I realized, damn, I'm going bald. Researching for hours and hours for like natural ways to stop it. I've tried so many things, like hair loss shampoos, oils, vitamins, scalp massages, you name it. But while doing all of these things, I kept losing more hair. Once I've lost almost all my hair on top, I thought to myself, either I will go all in or just accept to be bald. But I didn't want to be bald. I couldn't see myself being bald. My brother was bald, my father was bald. I didn't like the look. So jumped on finasteride and minoxidil medications, you know, reading horror stories about the side effects of these drugs. You know, I wasn't willing to use them for like many, many years. But funnily enough, these were like the only things that actually, you know, stopped my hair loss from progressing without causing any of the side effects. And up until this day, my biggest regret is not trying these medications earlier. My hair stopped falling actually, and even regrew a little bit, you know, but this was nearly not enough, you know, for me. At the time I was wearing a comb over, you know, in order to hide my balding area, and you know, loads and loads of hairspray was used. But even then, with a slight wind, it would just blow away everything, and everyone would just stare at my like bald head and have a great look. It was an absolute nightmare. this is when I had enough, and I started researching hair transplant. I almost pulled the trigger actually with the first clinic I found, but my gut feeling was stopping me from doing it. I knew subconsciously it can't be that easy. Fast forward to almost 2 years, and I'm on the surgical couch. I couldn't believe I'm actually doing it. I was thinking, it's all done now, it's all behind me. I've done my absolute best to fight male pattern baldness. But after a few weeks or so, I could finally see the result. There it is. There is my new hairline. Like, I wouldn't lie, it gave me so much confidence in myself. I thought I could conquer the world. And I was right. My hair started to grow like crazy. Like, every day I remember looking in the mirror. I couldn't believe I was looking this way before. It's such a strange feeling. It's like a rebirth. Like, I have a new face. Unfortunately, I realized my balding area was much bigger than I was expecting. My mid-skull was really bare compared to my transplanted area. And at first I was thinking, it's not gonna look that bad, but seeing how thick my transplant became gave me a really similar feeling I had before my transplant. I knew I have to do it again to be fully happy. So I scheduled another surgery. Here I am, doing it all over again. Second surgery went so well this time around that I was looking so much better, so much sooner, compared to the first transplant. The hair started to grow so wild that at 6 months, I was thinking it's already a full result. I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is it. This is the end of my hair loss. I had so much hair I couldn't believe it. I've been looking into the mirror for hours at a time, like moving my hair from left to right. Damn, it doesn't even matter how it sits, it looks good. The feeling of it looking in the mirror and seeing all of this hair that wasn't there for many years, it's something incredible. It's hard to describe. It's like a feeling of success after all these years trying all these useless treatments. This is a story how I conquered hair loss. And this is how we're rolling. So guys, once again, thanks so much for watching. It was a nice live stream, I believe. It was great seeing you guys and answering all your questions in the chat. Hope everyone had a fun time, great time, and it was educational. If you've got any more questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe as always. And you know what? Comment down below, who do you think I should bring on my next live stream? I think it's gonna be a great idea to have someone different, some like on any other like live stream, and to have some interesting chats with some people. So let me know what you think. And for now, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.